It started with a whisper, a secret my 6-year-old son, Leo, decided to share with me one Tuesday morning over a bowl of Cheerios. He looked up, his spoon hovering mid-air, and said, "The other mummy says you're not very good at making pancakes." I laughed, a little confused. "The other mummy? Who's that, sweetie? Did you mean Grandma?" Leo shook his head, his eyes wide and serious. "No, the other mummy. The one who comes into my room when it's dark." My smile faded. Kids have imaginary friends. Of course, it's a normal part of growing up. But the other mummy. The phrase sent a shiver down my spine. I couldn't quite explain. I decided to play along, trying to keep my voice light. "Oh really? And what else does she say?" Leo shrugged, suddenly losing interest and focusing back on his breakfast. "Just stuff. She says she misses me." That night, I was on high alert. My husband, Mark, was away on a business trip, so it was just Leo and me in the house. The old house always had its creaks and groans, but tonight, every sound felt amplified. After I tucked Leo into bed, I sat in the living room, trying to read, but my ears were straining, listening for anything out of the ordinary. I must have drifted off on the couch because I woke up with a start. The house was dead silent, too silent. I tiptoed to Leo's room and pushed the door open a crack. He was fast asleep, his little chest rising and falling rhythmically, but the room felt cold, a deep, unnatural chill that wasn't there before. I checked the window. It was sealed tight, shaking it off as my overactive imagination. I went back to the living room, but the feeling of being watched was overwhelming. The next day, Leo was quiet. He barely touched his food and just pushed his toy cars around the rug without his usual vroom sounds. "Is everything okay, Leo?" I asked, kneeling beside him. He wouldn't look at me. "She was mad last night," he mumbled. "Who was mad, honey?" I pressed gently. "The other mummy. She said you were listening." My blood ran cold. How could he possibly know I was outside his door? Was he awake? Was this just a strange, elaborate game he was playing? I tried to rationalize it, but the unease was like a knot tightening in my stomach. I decided to install a baby monitor with a camera in his room. Mark would probably think I was crazy, but I needed to see what was going on. That night, I watched the monitor like a hawk. For hours, it was just a grainy, black and white image of Leo sleeping peacefully. Around 2 in the morning, just as I was about to give up and go to bed, a flicker of static crossed the screen. Then, I heard it, a whisper. It was so faint, I had to turn the volume all the way up. It was a soft, feminine voice, but it wasn't coming from Leo. The voice was humming a lullaby, one I'd never heard before. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding against my ribs. There was no one in the room, just Leo. But the humming continued, soft and melodic, yet utterly terrifying. Then, the humming stopped, and the same whispery voice spoke. He looked so much like I remember. A wave of static washed over the audio, and then silence. I didn't sleep a wink that night. The following morning, I was a wreck. I called Mark and tried to explain, but over the phone, it just sounded like I was a sleep-deprived, paranoid mother. He tried to be reassuring, telling me it was probably just radio interference picking up on the monitor, but I knew what I heard. When Leo woke up, he had a small, intricately woven bracelet made of grass and tiny wildflowers on his wrist. "Where did you get this, sweetie?" I asked, my voice trembling. He smiled, a genuine, happy smile for the first time in days. "The other mummy made it for me. She said it's so she can always find me." That was it. I couldn't take it anymore. I packed a bag for Leo and me and told him we were going on a surprise trip to Grandma S. As we were walking out the door, Leo stopped and looked back at his bedroom window. He waved. "Bye-bye, other mummy," he said cheerfully. "We'll be back soon." At my mom's house, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. The old house had felt so oppressive, so heavy, but the feeling didn't last. That night, after putting Leo to bed in the guest room, I was helping my mum with the dishes when she casually mentioned something that made my world stop. "You know," she said, drying a plate, "this house has so many stories. When we first bought it, the realtor told us the previous owner, a young woman, lost her son. He was about Leo's age. She was so heartbroken, she refused to leave his room. They say she just faded away in there." I dropped the plate I was holding. It shattered on the floor, the sound echoing the breaking of my composure. My mum rushed over, asking if I was okay, but I couldn't speak. It all clicked into place. The cold spot, the whispers, the lullaby, the other mummy. She wasn't an imaginary friend. She was a ghost, a grieving mother who thought Leo was her son. We never went back to that house. Mark came home, and I told him everything, showing him the grass bracelet I had frantically stuffed into my pocket. Seeing my terror, he finally believed me. We sold the house at a loss, never mentioning the real reason we were leaving. We moved to a brand new apartment in the city, a place with no history, no creaks, and no dark corners hiding old sorrows. Leo eventually forgot about the other mummy. He's a happy, healthy kid now, with no memory of the whispers in the night. But I'll never forget. Sometimes, when I'm tucking him in, I'll see a shadow move in the corner of my eye, or I'll think I hear a faint humming on the wind. I know she's still out there, searching for her little boy, and I know she remembers mine. I check the locks twice. I leave a nightlight on in the hall, and I pray every single night that she never, ever finds us again. Because some bonds are stronger than death, and a mother's love, or what's left of it, can be the most terrifying thing in the world. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have any chilling experiences of your own, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the dark. Stay safe out there.